Have you ever wanted to have 200 max HP, but just didn't want to stall for it? You don't own Transcended or Stray. Do you like playing solo? Well, I have the perfect solution for you. If you were playing during the Halloween event, or before they took most of the Crown Challenges classes off sale, you could have gotten your hands on Reaper, a class specialized in snowballing their max HP to absurd levels, and heavily benefits from vitality. However, this does come at the risk of having a very difficult start in the first few worlds. If you already know what the character does, you can just skip this part since I'm basically just reading the description again. Reaper has a more unique passive compared to most other classes. Instead of spawning with a buff to a certain stat or spawning with a certain weapon, Reaper spawns in with half of his max HP, which is detrimental to any run. And the most specific upside I think most people don't realize he has is the ability to spend his max HP on altars instead of HP, if he's too low to afford a Sin. Reaper has two abilities, and are centered on increasing his max HP slowly but constantly. His first ability is Steal Soul, which deals 25% to the closest enemy's max HP. If the ability lands a lethal blow, he'll get 5 max HP for it. His second ability, Dark Omen, is tied to Steal Soul. For every successful stolen soul, he'll gain 1 max HP and heal 1 HP. His ability cooldowns are perfectly timed, so you can get off about 2 to 3 Steal Souls before having to use a Bad Omen, getting the most out of every ability. Steal Soul also does percentage damage instead of a base amount of damage. Scaling damage makes it much more easier to land finishing blows onto enemies, since you can just check as soon as their HP goes to red. That's your time to strike. His secondary ability can also be a pretty decent heal with a bit of vitality. 20 to 40 HP a use doesn't sound like much on paper, but everything in this kit is all about snowballing. In an average run without warp shells or using abilities to teleport you back a world, if you get a good amount of vitality items like roses or butterflies, you could lead to healing that's over 100 and max HP to 200 if everything goes to plan. Reaper excels in World 7 and above because by then your max HP is so high, you could legit just run straight into rooms without a care in the world and still walk out with like over 100 HP. Seeing this background footage, I'm getting absolutely destroyed by Overclocker. Yet since I have like 50 more HP than the game expected, I can tank all of his attacks. In the end, I'm left with 7 HP. If I didn't use Reaper, I would have lost that match. Oh, and I guess you could also use Reaper for Dark World runs since you could trade your max HP for Sins. Due to Reaper's passive, making it through the first few worlds is quite a hassle, since in higher ascensions your max HP and starting HP gets lowered drastically, so with HP comparable to Relic and without any damage reduction, you're going to have to do a no-hit for a while, and that isn't an option. That is a requirement. Also, sometimes you might not be able to utilize all that max HP of his because if you just take too much damage, you can't keep up. So you just kind of have like a lot of max HP but have nothing to do with it. Also, besides Steal Soul, Reaper barely has any offensive capabilities. He can deal like 1/4 of your droid's HP every 4 rooms and that's it. So you're basically left with only your sword. So I guess another downside of Reaper is the opportunity cost of not having solid damage dealing or any buffs to literally any other stat, which is quite a bummer. Reaper is more of a solo class than the rest. You can obviously tell that Paladin is a runner that protects others and heals them, Archer is more of a backliner, and DJ supplies the team with buffs and debuffs to droids. You can make an assumption that Brawler falls into a similar category as Paladin, minusing the healing, and Technician is to redirect aggro and give some breathing time for other runners. But Reaper kinda just does his own thing. Hell, he's one of the few classes with no abilities that scale in multiplayer. His abilities just work for him, benefit only him, and doesn't bring anything else to the team. He's just for solo purposes. Sometimes people could steal your Steal Soul ability, causing you to either not use the ability, or a worse case scenario is hitting an enemy at full HP, making you effectively wasted the ability. This gameplay is rather simple. Here, let me just break it down for you. Drag an enemy out from the crowd so you won't accidentally hit another droid. Get that enemy to red on their HP bar using your sword. Then click E, and you already completed his main function. You should also keep Bad Omen on auto use since it gives both max HP and normal HP. You aren't lowering its effectiveness by using it on full HP. Actually, not using it could be worse since the room count cooldown. Hey, that rolls off the tongue nicely. Room count cooldown. Anyways, as I was saying, not using it will be worse since the room count cooldown just gets delayed. When using Reaper, Vitality is amazing. It's practically your best friend. Since with the second ability, you can actually overheal the max HP and be at a net positive HP. Unlike Cultist or Transcendent, even if this class does provide a good buff to altars, it is not necessary to go to the Dark Fountain from Deltarune to uncover the 7 deadly sins. It's just a little extra if you for some reason want to go there. Reaper is a solo-based class designed to pick off lone droids to slowly accumulate large amounts of max HP and HP in the late game, but having a miserable early game and lacking in the damage and speed departments. He's basically a cheaper Stray now that I think of it, with less reward but much less risk. It should also be noted that due to the removal of event classes from being purchasable after their event, Reaper is only available every October of each year, meaning he might be easier to obtain during that time of year, but the limited time availability evens it out. To be honest, this whole video is just an excuse for me to talk about that one single event class I unlocked. I wasn't that interested in grinding for candy corn to get the rest of the Halloween classes, so this is the cheapest one I got before the event ran out. Kinda disappointed I didn't try to get the rest, but oh well. Okay, that about does it. See you later and catch you on the next vid.